Hello folks, I hope that you're having just a great day keeping yourself safe in our modern COVID world today. Welcome back to my Cthulhu Mythos October. Today I'm going to take another look at Neil Gaiman. We're going to be looking at his book Only the End of the World Again, which is a short story written in 1994 for this collection, Shadows over Innistrad, which is published by Del Rey. I'll link you to this collection below so you can check it out. In case you want to follow along and read some of the stories that are in here. We'll do some of the stories in here and there again. It's a solid collection and so forth. As you can see from the back cover, Neil Gaiman is the very first story that's led on the back cover. That's how he's being used to sell this story. Sell his collection rather, his story. So we'll take a look at it. It's Only the End of the World Again. Now, Only the End of the World Again is technically a sequel to a novel that is set in the Cthulhu Mythos by Roger Zelazny, who had recently died and was really good friends with Neil Gaiman. Kind of took him under his wing a little bit. That novel is A Night in the Lonesome October, which I've already reviewed for you. I'll actually link you to that below in case you want to pick it up and check it out. It is set from the perspective of Jack the Ripper's dog, a guard dog called Snuff. It is incredibly well done. I could not recommend it more. It's technically set in the Cthulhu Mythos. There are a number of bad people that are trying to decide whether or not they're going to summon the big bad guys or to keep them from coming in. And they each create alliances and so forth. And one of the members of the alliance that Jack the Ripper's on to save the world is a werewolf and so forth. So we're going to be following that werewolf as he arrives at Innsmouth in the 90s. This is set contemporarily. Innsmouth, like a lot of towns and so forth in this work, has grown and so forth. Because it's on the beach, but recently it's undergone a big squalor as a lot of the folks have left, and they've left the beach in Innsmouth and they've moved out, and now the town has undergone a lot of squalor and so forth as people has chosen to move out of the beach town, and the economy for that fades, and so that's going to be the new Innsmouth that we're reading about. This is obviously also a sequel to Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft, since it's set in the same town, and you're going to be running up against the same bad people, the hybrid deep ones and so forth, and the full deep ones, and are your major antagonists. We're going to start this story. It's going to open up with our protagonist, this former werewolf who's just finished a transformation. It's early morning and he's vomiting up some children's fingers and some I don't know if it's a dog or a hound or something like that, but a paw from that too, and it's vomiting that up into the bathroom toilet. And so forth, and that's kind of our opening scene that rises on this character, and that shows this is a very squalid and sordid story, and it's very, very heavily set in that sort of a place. Our main characters, we're going to find out, he has taken on the role of an adjuster. He's been in Innsmouth for a few weeks. He's trying to figure out some things. He tries to get he interacts with a couple people on his way to his office, including a large Rotan man who tries to bring him into the cult that worships the deep ones, and some other ones too. Each of them know that he's a werewolf and are giving him like cures for werewolfy too, and trying to sell him different cult cures for werewolf. He'll take a tarot card reading and so forth. That's about halfway through the short story, so I'll go ahead and stop you there and so forth. In my collection, this short story, let's take a look and see how long it is. It's one of the first collections in the story and so forth. I don't like that it republished over Innsmouth. If you're reading a Cthulhu Mythos collection called Shadows over Innsmouth, you've probably already read Shadow over Innsmouth and so forth. But anyway, but it begins, Only the End of the World begins on page 437 and ends on 455 when the next story begins. So that's roughly 18 pages. It's pretty short. I've read it now 3 times. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Neil Gaiman is a great writer. and so forth, I would have given A Study Over Emerald, which I've just reviewed for you on Sunday. I give that one an absolute 10 out of 10. He's not hitting on all his cylinders. There are some pacing issues and so forth. It's very well written. The squalor is very well done. You feel the story as it's breaking from the page and so forth from you. It's incredibly well done and incredibly well concepted. It's also a bit of a, it never takes itself too seriously. It's got a bit of a gallows humor to it, which is pretty good for the story. It also has again, it never takes itself too seriously, which I like, and that gallows humor. So it has a sort of a dark tone with that sort of an undercurrent to it, and that's an undercurrent that Neil Gaiman can pull off very nicely, and I really do like that feel of the story. So there you are. There's Only the End of the World again for you. Have you read it? What'd you think of it? I'm happy to engage you with it in the comments below. What'd you think of my review? Did you like it? If you did, please feel encouraged to hit that subscribe button. There's going to be so many more of these to follow. And finally, I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your day and watching my video. We all have so many things happening in our lives, right? And so many things that are pulling us in different directions. So the fact that you spent time with me and invested in my video is very humbling, and I really do appreciate that. So thanks again, and have a great day.